Well, Morrie, I know that you really came from a PMC family. So I guess I know some of the answer to the question, why did you choose PMC? But you didn't have to, I suppose. You could have gone somewhere else. So why did you choose?
Not at all.
Huh?
I had applied to 3 or 4 other schools.
Yeah.
And was seriously considering them when I got a postcard actually from PMC.
Oh.
And showed it to my dad, who of course, his brother had gone to PMC, class 39. And, but he had never mentioned and never thought I'd want to go there. And so I asked him to take me over. And it looked interesting, and we talked to the admissions, and I got a scholarship and ended up here. I didn't particularly want to live at home and go to Drexel, so that was one of the things. But the PMC seemed to fit well, and I came here, and I came to PMC and ran cross country and waited on tables and got in a little bit of trouble and lost my stripes and got made back at senior year. But it was a great time, and I was involved in a lot of stuff besides cross country and a little bit of basketball and other things, Theta Chi. And got to know a bunch of guys that it's great to still be around. And then after I graduated, I went to got deferments and went to the University of Delaware with 2 other classmates, and was there for 4 years. I started on my PhD after I got my master's, and I left there, went to work for the National Bureau of Standards. I couldn't get another deferment to go on, and at that point I talked to the Army about where what I was going to do when they were going to have me come in. And I went on active duty in 1967, and I was stationed at Fort Belvoir. And to stay there, I had permanent orders for Belvoir to teach. Had on-base quarters during the basic course, and I taught everything from OCS all the way, and enlisted people all the way to the advanced course. Had over 500 hours of platform time, and also, and I finished up when I got out in '69 and went to Atlanta. I used to come up and do my reserves there, and I wrote a manual for the Army, reinforced concrete. And so that was the extent of my Army duty. But it started coming back to the school in the 20th year reunion, and I've done it every 5 years from then, and then every one of these that we've been able to put together when Mike started them in 2004. So it's fantastic, and really enjoy it.
And Mike, why did you decide to leave New Brunswick, not go to Rutgers and come here, come to PMC?
That's true, yeah. I had, Rutgers was, I guess, everybody's choice, leaving the area close by. I wanted to go away, but I did get accepted to several other schools, but actually the Dean of Admissions paid a house visit to me in high school.
Who paid
The Dean of Admissions.
Dean of Admissions.
Yeah, and he came to my house, and I met with my mother and father, and we talked about it, and he invited us to come down. We went down, and again, he offered us a scholarship, and back in those days, scholarships, money was a critical consideration in anything, and so my uncles or my grandfather had strong military backgrounds, and they said, yeah, that'd be great for, to continue their legacy of being in the military. And so we decided to go to PMC.
What branch did you choose of the Army to work?
I went into the Army Corps of Engineers, Went in and served 2 years over in Germany. And then I was in a reserve unit when I came back in Philadelphia. But prior to going on active duty, I worked with the Army Corps as a civilian capacity, 2nd Chestnut, Philadelphia. Did my 2 years active, came right back to the same job. And with the great government job, when you have so much time at the lower grades, I was even promoted while I was away, from a GS5 to a GS7. From $5,000 a year to about $7,000 a year, which was big money at that time. It was a big jump.
Yeah.
But anyway, I spent 5 years there in Philly after I come back, and then I got moved on to the headquarters in Washington, and spent the rest of my career there after 26 years civilian, 2 years military. So I retired 1989 with a 28 years of service. It was an early retirement. And then I continued on with my engineering background. I wanted to get back into more into the construction side, and I did work for the state of Maryland for 10 years. And then I continued to work for a private contractor for 2 years, building golf courses, or renovating golf course. And I built a 9-hole, project manager, built a 9-hole in New Jersey, in Clark, New Jersey, for General Motors. And then I finally retired in 2001.
Okay.
We both started at the Corps of Engineers, civilian, at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'd go there in the summertime and see Mike, and then I'd go back to school and come back in the summer.
And then I worked on TDY down at the Chesapeake and Delaware Canal, and Morrie was at Delaware, and I was looking for a place to stay, and I stayed in his little apartment because he had an extra bed there for about 4 weeks. 5 weeks, I guess it was.
And then I went to work on the 64 on the Chesapeake, the St. George's Bridge over the Chesapeake and Delaware. So.
And, well, let's go on and say, we both talking here, Morrie was in my wedding party. And he's also the godfather of my son.
Well, I knew all that. That's why I put you two together.
So, and we've stayed in contact over the years.
Yeah, and we're both Red Sox fans.
Yes, there you go.
Why are both of you? Why either one of you a Red Sox fan? I didn't hear any.
Yeah, we don't have enough time to tell you all that.
I didn't hear any tours in Boston or anything. No. Okay, well,
No.
keep that a secret.
My connection, my father played semi-pro ball with a fellow named Eddie Popowski, who lived in Serval, and he went on to manage and play for the Red Sox, but mostly manage and coach. He was a coach for the Red Sox, I think, from '69 to '76, but he was also 3 times the interim manager towards the end of the season, because they fired all the managers, and he managed for the last 2 weeks of each season. So 3 times, on 3 occasions. And he lived in the community. I used to see him off season, used to bring me memorabilia, and instead of being a Yankee fan like everybody else, I became a Red Sox and still am to this day.
Well, do you want to tell your story?
Oh, I just say in the 6th grade, I started following baseball and Ted Williams, and that really got me into to follow Boston very closely. And pretty soon it's all who were the only team I've ever rooted for.
So getting back to PMC, the other question we were asking the fellows to think about is, did getting your education at PMC, the military portion, or even your courses that you took, did you thought it gave you a certain advantage, especially the military part? Did it give you an advantage in your active duty assignments and then your work as civilians?
Well, it certainly didn't hurt. My military background while I was at school, I didn't participate a lot because I was a waiter and A&R sergeant my senior year and so forth. I think that the overall education was certainly beneficial and very good, and certainly has been a good foundation for what I did later on. And I think that just being in a military school and understanding the integrity and the leadership and the strength that you get from being in a military situation is a background that really it also lays a foundation.
Yeah, I agree with all that. And in my particular case, with staying with the Army Corps of Engineers in the civilian capacity, I knew the Corps, I knew the military side and the civil side. And in the Corps of Engineers, most of our leaders are military. So I came across a lot of prior commanders and associates in the service. So it was a great benefit. And of course, the background in education was definitely the foundation for getting into a construction management, project management career.
Okay. Well, would you like either to add anything to what you just said, or before I thank you, because I really appreciate what you're doing here for us.
I would just say I don't regret a minute of it. I think every young American should get at least 6 weeks of military duty in today's world,
You know,
in our culture.
I agree with that. I would add to not only either military or something like the Peace Corps or Vista.
Some service to the...
Much like they do in Israel.
Yeah.
But I went on to do a lot of project management over the years, and I think, again, the background that I had here at PMC really helped with one. Because like Mike returned, wanted to do more in the construction. I did the same thing. I didn't get a construction company, but to this day, I'm still managing projects for architects and engineers and working with contractors.
Yeah.
So it's been very good.
Very rewarding. Don't regret a minute. Even the active duty was great experience, and a lot of great people, and learned a lot, and grew.
Yeah.
Grow a lot from the different experiences.
Well, the dedication you have both of you have had to these reunions shows something about what you felt about the college. It seems to me. It wouldn't be just the guys. I think it's
both.
It's the school and the memories you had and what you thought it did for you. It seems to me, and I want to thank both of you. I just wish I'd started sooner. See, you always had them around my anniversary, which is, again, my anniversary is next week. It will be next week. And we always said, well, we won't go to the anniversary. We don't go. But that 50th thing blew me away. Just blew me away. And I'm so glad that I went.
I would like to add one thing, and that is my brother came to PMC and was class of 70. Mother's Day corporal, and I forget, he had many stripes when he graduated. And went in the Army, and was in the Army and then the Public Health Corps until he retired. But really enjoyed his 4 years.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, thank you again very much.
Thank you.
For taking the time.
Thank you.
It's late.